All right, folks, sorry that I am a minute or two late here, but this is the 2021 BMW M8 Gran Coupe competition, and I'm going to answer your questions. First, the ones that came in via Instagram. You follow me at MilesPerHr and ask your questions really there, or from YouTube's community page. I post up this car along with a questionnaire, and you ask me your questions. I answer those first, along with any ones that are chatted in with Super Chat, and then I get to the other ones. So thank you all for joining us, and I look forward to answering all your questions for the M8 Gran Coupe. What do we got for our first one? Christina, lovely lady, manning the camera.
Oh, thank you. Would you prefer this BMW front end instead of the one on the new M3/M4 from Blake?
Yes, Blake always has the best questions for these live Q&As. Thank you, Blake, for that one. Such a good question, because I have looked at the M3, M4's front end every day since well, not every day, but like I've looked at it a lot, okay?
Every day.
And I keep trying to justify the look of that new front end, and I can't do it. Maybe in person it'll be better, but I just think it's a mistake. And I look at the classic kidney grills. Obviously, this is still not classic as kidney grills go because it's still huge, but it's huge wide, and grills these days are wide. The bucktooth look on the M3 M4, I can't handle it. I would much rather they went with this. Of course, I would still prefer the classic smaller kidney grill, but they're not going to do that because everyone's going bigger and better. So I would prefer this over the M3 M4. Great question, Blake. I really can't stand the new M3 M4 front clip. What's our next question?
Oh, just a side note. I don't know if my brother is on here. Jay Perez?
Jay Perez? I don't know. You are Perez. Maybe it's Josh. I know. I'm saying you are Perez. Maybe it's Josh.
Okay. Is this your favorite color combo?
Yes, Blake also asked this question. Great question. I love this color. I think I like the name for the color even better. They call it Brands Hatch Gray Metallic. Brands Hatch is it's a division of motorsports where I think it's just in Europe, where the competitors and I'm losing my words here. It's a division of motorsports competition in Europe, and they pulled the name from that series. And so it's gray, it's metallic. If you get up close and personal with the sunlight on it. So it's not just a flat gray. The flat grays are very popular these days. This kind of combines the best elements of all of them because it's got the metallic, it's got the flat gray, and it's an awesome color combo. I think Blake asked a good question. It might be my favorite, especially with the gold brake calipers in there. That looks really good with the gray paint and black/metallic wheels to contrast. Love those wheels, by the way. Ooh. What is our next question?
Trying to get there.
Sorry, you're looking into the sun.
Yeah. Exhaust? Question mark from Grandma Sharded herself.
Oh yeah, we can always count on Grandma to ask about the exhaust. So let's do it. Let's fire it up, and then I will put the engine into Sport Plus, which will make it have those overrun pops and bangs. Sounds like thunder. Do you like the exhaust note? What of the four-door super sport sedan coupe vehicles make a better exhaust note? I want to know from you. Let me know. What's our next question, Christina?
Everything, Gary T.
I like this one. Yeah, Gary just said he wants to know everything about the M8 Gran Coupe competition. I cannot tell you everything in this live Q&A. I will have a review up for this car in a few weeks. A little behind on content. Was flushing out just a bunch of the videos I had backed up. but some really great stuff coming down the pike. And starting in October, it's all going to be these luxury slash nicer 40K and up vehicles. So look forward to that. But back to his question, everything about it. Well, I can give you kind of high level stuff. The starting price for the M8 Gran Coupe competition is $143,000. This one as tested is $167,000. It uses a 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 to make 617 horsepower in the competition model, 600 if you don't get the competition spec, and top speed is 155, non-comp 170 size, 170, that was not a number, 170 size, 170 size, that's how big it is, 177 miles an hour if you get the competition, and 0 to 60 is 3.1 seconds for the competition. That's so quick. Yeah, so there's everything in a nutshell, Gary. Great question. What is our next one, Christina?
Is this car overpriced compared to rivals? From Diego Moreno.
Diego Moreno asks a good question. Interestingly, this car has very few rivals as a four-door coupe design sedan. It most directly competes with the Mercedes-AMG GT63S four-door coupe because there just aren't enough words.
I don't think I got that. Can you do it again?
No, I don't want to. All right,
Okay.
Mercedes-AMG GT63S four-door coupe. That is all legitimately the name of that car. So it competes with that. This one, as I said, is 143 with the competition, and the Mercedes-AMG GT363, I'm not going to do it again. The Mercedes-AMG is 100 and, oh man, can I remember this off the top of my head? 140, nope, 100, I think it might be up to like one, no, I can't remember.
Oh,
guys, I can't remember. It's around that price. I don't remember. It's around that price. But the other car that it competes against, and just to give you perspective, that car makes 630 horsepower, I do know that, and it gets to 60 around the same time. So very similar performance-wise with that car. The Porsche Panamera Turbo SE Hybrid, again, just so many names. That car makes 670 horsepower, so more than this, more than the AMG, gets to 60 in 1/10 of a second faster, 3.0 seconds. But that car is $187,000. So an extra $40,000 in change more than this. And I can't remember the AMG's price, so it's more than that though. So I don't think it's overpriced. For the performance that's offered here, it's very competitive with both of those vehicles. Pretty much just as quick, just as fast, top end, and yeah, and I think luxury certainly isn't lacking compared to those cars. So no, not overpriced. Good question, Diego. Next question.
All right, we're getting into YouTube. So
All right.
Thank you, Gianni, for joining Jorge.
Thanks, guys.
Perez, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday.
That's his name. Ramon.
Speaking of, happy Friday / Saturday for the folks who are international. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out the right time for these. It's going to get the median of folks who tune in for these. So unfortunately, if I do it too late, then some folks are going to miss out. If I do it too early, then other folks are going to miss out. Trying to find the right time, so bear with me. But thanks for tuning in. Even if you are overseas and tuning in at like 1 a.m., one of the guys in the UK is tuning in. Thank you for joining.
All right, from J. Perez, M8 or RS7?
Oh, okay. That is technically another one of the competitors for these cars. The RS7, I can't remember the power specs for that car. I think it's just 600 horsepower for the RS7. Price on that is going to be a little less. And I don't know, I really like the Audi RS7's looks. It looks very good. I don't like the rear end quite as much as the first gen RS7. And the first gen RS7 is the fastest I've been in a car. Not going to tell you how fast, but it was in a safe place. So that car still is a warm place in my heart. I think I really like this M8 Gran Coupe competition. We'll get into more of that in the review, so I may choose this over the new RS7. But we'll see. I haven't driven the new RS7 yet.
Okay, from a trail, do you think it's worth what it costs? You kind of talked about that a
Yeah, I
little
kind of
bit.
talked about, Diego asked that question. I think, well, I mean, he didn't ask directly. He said, is it overpriced for the vehicles in the segment? He didn't ask if it was overpriced.
Yeah.
I can only answer that from a person who doesn't have this amount of money to spend on a car. Sure, it's not overpriced. Or maybe yes, it's very overpriced. I don't think so. For what you're seeing your money buys you out there in the market right now, this feels right on par for what they're charging. The luxury is there, the performance is there, the look is there. I like the silhouette of this car quite a bit, the profile of it. Should we look at the interior a little more? Christina already started with that. Those are the rear seats. This has sort of a 2+2 configuration. It does have 5 seat belts, so you could put a person in the middle, but their legs are, I guess, are just going to straddle that centerpiece in the middle. That's kind of weird. But yeah, let's look at the front here. Very light colored leather here, which helps bring the cabin, the light in the cabin up quite a bit because it doesn't have any panoramic sunroof or anything like that, because this has the carbon fiber roof, which saves weight, but means you don't have any sunroof, no moonroof. So the car would otherwise be kind of dark if it didn't have light colored leather seats. Losing my voice. And we're back.
Okay, next question from Trey Williams. Is this car as stunning in person as it is in this video?
Oh, yes. Trey, great question. Yes, it is rather remarkable to see one of these in motion on the road, and to see one even standing still here. It's a remarkable car. It's beautiful to behold, and I think BMW got the proportions right. They got the design right. Some of their cars, even M and competition spec M's, I don't like how they look. I don't like the X6M competition. I really dislike how that car looked. I like the X5M competition. I like this one. So some they get right, some they don't. The M3, M4, as we've discussed, the new ones, the front looks terrible. So they're not all good and they're not all bad. This is one of the good ones though. I think this car is beautiful.
Okay, from Dogo. This or the new Panamera Turbo S?
Oh yeah, so the 2021 Porsche Panamera Turbo S, would I choose that? I like how the new Panamera looks. It's so funny because the first Panamera looked hideous to me. I hated how that car looked. The rear end just was so awkward, so ugly. It would be close, let me tell you. It would be very close between this and that Porsche. I like the Porsche quite a bit. As driving goes, they're going to be very similar in terms of their driving experience. The Porsche is going to have lighter steering. It's going to feel even a little more connected. The way they do their electronic steering racks is amazing. Look for more on that when I get the Porsche 911 Carrera S Cabriolet review out in the next couple weeks here. But yeah, it would be very close. That's a great question. I can't honestly give you a direct answer. Maybe this, because I really like the sharp creases on this car, but the driving experience is going to be very similar. Good question though.
From JG, does it drive more like a sports car, like the M8 Coupe, or is it more like a large sedan?
I'm finding it, great question, it drives very much like a sports car, for better or worse. The better part of that is that it feels very planted in corners, it pivots easily, it's certainly fast. The downside of that is that it's kind of firm. The suspension, even in its most comfortable settings, is pretty firm. So sports car, certainly in terms of driving experience, some good, some bad to that. Next question, Christina, and then we'll probably go take this for a ride.
Scola says sounds like an AMG.
Similar exhaust notes. Both for 4.4 liter for this one, 4 liter for the very similar 4-ish liter twin turbo V8s for both cars.
Okay, from Young Sweepa, does it feel heavy driving it?
No, surprisingly, it's 4,400 pounds, which is a lot of weight to move in corners, but it does not feel heavy. It feels substantial, but more like a solidly built vehicle, not like an ungainly heavy vehicle, certainly while you're turning that wheel and spinning it, moving it through corners. It doesn't feel heavy.
Okay, from Jorge, do you think this would be the last beautiful look of BMWs?
It's a great question, and I mean, to that point, with the new M3 and M4 coming out with those designs. It kind of has you wondering whether BMW's kind of lost the plot in terms of design language. I hope that it's not the last and better look of BMW. I hope they don't just embrace those buck teeth for everything. They have to listen to public opinion, and public opinion has not been good. The feedback has not been positive. So hopefully they will make an about face and go back to something more traditional design like this. You can see here we've got 11 cubic feet of space trunk, not that big, kind of long, but not very wide. And for the segment, it's on the smaller side. I think the AMG has 12.7 cubic feet, and the Panamera has like 17 cubic feet. So it's the smallest end of those vehicles. All right, it's time to go drive.
Yeah, from Scola, $161,000 for this, or a down payment on a brand new house. Thoughts, Miles?
Oh.
Okay, I could help.
I like that. Did you do that for Christina? I can help. Yeah, down payment on a house.
Do that.
For me, down payment on a house, 100%, because don't own a home and would love to own a home. Would like that even more than driving a really fancy car.
Yeah. We like cars.
We like cars, but we'd also like to have a roof over our heads that we own.
All right. Hope that helps you out.
Yeah, great question though.
Make good decisions.
All right, so I left in Sport Plus mode. I'm just gonna go into M mode here and go to Sport. That's gonna bring up sportier settings. And then of course you have your 1 and 2 M drive buttons. I programmed those to be, M1 is kind of like a launch mode. It's gonna set that up, the settings you need for launch control. And then M2 is a bit more playful, but I'm just gonna leave it in M Sport mode right now. I will punch it. Oof. My goodness.
That's very smooth.
It's so smooth, it's actually frightening. Cars like this certainly are developed for the German Autobahn. It makes me very sad we don't have something like that here in the US. It's something I get in the comments a lot. People are like, how can you drive that car in America? Your speed limits are so low. It's true, it sucks. We don't have a German Autobahn, and that's what this car was built for. It's built to go very quickly, very smoothly, and we don't have access to one of those here. But for the short stints, the short sprints that we have, we can just get a glimpse of that. It's so quick and so smooth, except the suspension is kind of stiff.
Okay. From Milt Coronado. Hey Miles, remember me? I just came from the SVJ video.
Oh, awesome. Hi Milt. Thanks for joining.
All right, and is it twin turbo from Sergio?
Yes, it is. Twin turbo 4.4 liter V8.
Okay.
There's the glimpse of that suspension.
Oh, we did rev it, Milt. Would you be able to rev the German BMW things? We did rev it.
We did do a rev it earlier in the video. If you missed it, definitely watch. When this video is concluded, go ahead and run it back, or you can run it back right now and go check it out. We did rev it a couple times, and you're going to hear some active exhaust noise while we're revving it right now.
All right, what's the cost again from Sergio?
Starting price is $143. This one, as tested, is $167,000. A lot of money.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a missile. This thing is so quick and so svelte.
Interesting. Someone on here thinks you are nervous.
No, not nervous. I promise.
You okay?
This is just how I am.
Are you okay?
I am okay. Not nervous. I promise.
Guys,
this is just how I am.
I promise you, he's fine.
I just get a little high strung.
Some would say excited.
Uh-huh.
Okay, how comfortable are the seats? Good question.
Very comfortable. Christina, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm liking it.
We don't have massaging functionality
That's
here.
unfortunate.
Yeah,
For that price,
Christina loves those massaging seats. We don't have them here. We do have heating and ventilation for our seats, however.
Yeah.
Oh, not interested. But you also have adjustable side bolsters, which are fun. With this car right here, I cannot see around them. Can I make a U-turn?
Don't do it.
No, I'm not going to. I'm going to have to wait until it's safe. It's safe.
We have a baby on board.
Baby on board.
Okay. Let's see.
Might be able to catch that red light and do a launch control. We'll see about it. Oh no, there's a car in front of me. What other questions do we have?
Which is better, the BMW M8 Competition Gran Coupe or the BMW M8 Competition Coupe?
I
Noel.
only drove the regular coupe very briefly.
What can I help you with?
Oh, see, you say BMW and it thinks you're trying to give it a command. It's like mercedes-amg, but it's got that same system. I only drove the coupe version of this car very briefly. I would prefer this car, genuinely. I would prefer this car to have the added practicality of 2 more to 3 more seats in the back and not losing really any of that dynamicism, the athleticism of the car in that transition. This makes every bit of sense to me, this car. So I would prefer this one. Great question, though. Anything else?
From Mills, I have a question. How much does it cost to replace something on the competition?
Well, I don't know exactly, but I do know that, for example, the carbon fiber package is $5,000. The exterior package is $5,000. So imagine you break one of those pieces. I doubt you'll be able to find one of them for, I don't know, the garnishes on the front air dams, for example. I would imagine those are probably $1,000 to replace both of those, relative to the $5,000 for all of the carbon fiber elements on the car. Just doing some math. Something I'm not good at.
Okay.
Man, we're not getting any red lights.
It is real difficult to look at these. It's like bumping all around.
Oh, sorry.
This is
Yeah, well,
very bumpy.
there you go. That's the suspension. It is
Okay.
pretty
I
firm.
don't like that. I can't, yeah. Okay. I usually don't have this issue.
Oh, this guy has Teslas all up on my butt. I get a Tesla. Every Tesla wants to race or something. I get it. You got that electric power.
Okay.
That
hey,
quickness.
Man. Oh, sorry, cut you off.
No, sorry. I'm just ranting.
Oh man, now I lost it.
It's great that we're getting a lot of questions. Sorry if we
Hey.
don't get all of them answered.
Hey man, shout out from Ontario, Canada.
Oh,
Great content out of the M5, M8, E63S, or RS7. Which one would you get if you could?
man. M5, M8, E63. So I'm going to be driving the new E63 soon here, and I look forward to seeing how that one performs. But off the top of my head, probably the M5. More compliant ride quality than I've experienced in this so far. I like the looks of that car. I like the looks of this better. Oh man, I might choose this one. I know, that's tough. And again, I haven't driven the 2021 E63, pardon me, but I will very soon here. So I'll have more thoughts. And the RS7, I like the previous generation of that car, the RS7 Performance specifically. Haven't driven the new RS7 yet. We'll be driving it soon. So we'll have more thoughts. They're all kind of very new cars. So I don't have conclusive thoughts on all of that yet. I like this car. Let's just put it that way. I like it. I like it a lot.
All right, from Lenny. Well, Lenny, let's hear that exhaust. Well, we did earlier. Sorry, and we're driving.
Yeah, revved it earlier. From within the cabin, this is kind of the exhaust noise you're going to hear. I do have the exhaust button pressed.
Are we in sport or are we in comfort? Or...
We are in sport engine response, so that's also going to mean that you're hearing that.
What's in comfort?
She
I
wants
want to
comfort.
see if it's less
So our chassis is in comfort right now.
Oh.
That's just something to know.
bumpy. Okay.
Yes, it is on the bumpier side. Bumpier side of life.
What type of leather does it have?
Merino leather, I believe. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure it's merino leather.
Okay. From Sam Parker, what do you think BMW does so well with other cars?
Oh, I like that question. That's a really good question.
Oh, this is so nice. Oh, wow.
I find that their chassis tuning is among the best of the cars that compete in this segment of the luxury performance space. Their chassis tuning is superb. The way their suspension, as we experienced, is a little on the stiff side, but the platform the car is based on, the chassis, just feels the right level of structural rigidity. The pivots through the steering wheel, everything is so responsive, so dialed. I just find that their chassis tuning is really, really good for me. And I mean, they're stupid fast in a straight line. That's always good.
Okay. And the last few are just comments. You should review the Tesla Model S Placid. I think you get that like every time.
Well, I get reviews for Tesla, please. And unfortunately, Tesla, fun fact, Tesla PR is really difficult to work with. They just are not anxious to be getting journalist cars unless you are motor trained or car and driver. So it's really difficult for me to get behind the wheel of one. I keep having this back and forth with a Tesla rep about getting a Model X, because that's one of the ones you guys have been requesting a lot. And I mean, unless I'm going to get a vehicle from a consumer that I can drive, it's looking like it's going to be difficult for me to get one of those cars. I will be getting a Lamborghini Urus soon, and that was one of the other ones you guys were requesting, so look forward to that.
You're doing your best.
I'm doing my best. I'm going to punch it again.
Oh boy.
Sport. Punch. Oh, so smooth. The power build so quickly, but so progressively. Very linear power delivery.
All right.
But as you can hear, that was full throttle with the exhaust valves open. Not much of that exhaust noise makes it into this cabin. It's more on the quiet side, that's for sure.
Right. Hello, Abdul. And okay, how does this stereo compare to the Mercedes Burmester?
I think the Burmester is better. I am not an audiophile, so my acute sense of hearing for specific tonal quality is not quite there, but I find the speaker system to be very good. Bowers Wilkins makes a great sound system. Oh, you can use gesture control here, by the way. It's one of my favorite things. I know it sounds so gimmicky, but it actually works very well. But I find that Burmester sound system to be better. All right, dropping it down a couple gears. And punching it. Blast off. Oof. Transmission in this is very smooth. There has been one place I found that there's a bit of a hiccup, and that is, for whatever reason, even just in a normal mode, as you're braking, you can catch the car in a hiccup where it will have a rougher shift down from like 3 to 2 for whatever reason. But apart from that, very smooth transmission.
Maybe that answers the next and final question.
Well, there you go.
It's from Gene Walker. What do you think?
Sorry.
Okay. What do you think BMW could improve on this M8 competition?
Man, we're getting a bunch of really good questions here. That certainly could be one thing. I don't know why, but I've been able to recreate that hiccup from like 3 to 2 on the downshift a few times. It might also be 2 to 1. So that maybe refine that little issue. And I would like a little more engine noise. I think that AMG does a great job of piping in the right amount of exhaust volume, especially when you want to hear it. When I press this exhaust button, I open up the baffles, it means I want to hear the exhaust. I hear still very little of it from within this cabin. That's one thing they could definitely improve on. Apart from that, I'm happy with the BMW iDrive system. Is it better than the MBUX system? I'd say it's on par. The MBUX might be even slightly better. This digital instrument cluster here doesn't have as much reconfigurability as Audi's virtual cockpit or even the new MBUX system. That could be improved on. There isn't a whole lot that this car doesn't do well. So that's probably how I'll wrap this up, if that's okay with you guys.
Yep.
All right, thank you so much for tuning in.
2 people just popped in questions, but you can always...
Yeah, I can. If you ask the questions in a comment, I will make sure I answer those. I answer all of your comments, and if they are questions, I answer them. And yeah, so I will get to those if I don't get to them right now. Thank you guys so much for joining on another live Q&A. I'll see you again. I haven't decided yet, so I get the Challenger RT Scat Pack for next week. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a live Q&A of that sometime midweek, because I'm getting something very special at the end of next week. More on that soon. It's not the Lamborghini Urus. That's later in October.
Oh, well, that involves me. So are you asking me to do a midweek?
Oh, I guess I am maybe asking Christina.
Okay.
Oh, we'll talk about this off camera. Anyway, all right,
I'll
guys.
check my schedule.
Have a great rest of your
Bye.
weekend, and we'll see you next time.